Hello, I'm Father Jim Kiter, pastor of our Catholic family of parishes, and I'm here with one of our parishioners. I'd like to have her introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Dana List. I'm a member of St. Rose in Crofton. I'm married to Ben List, and we have a son, Huxton.
Um, Thank you for taking the time to visit a little bit. I had the honor of celebrating the baptism for Huxton just a short while ago. Maybe share a little bit about, for you and Ben, receiving the gift of your son, just what that love, meant, and its connection to your recognition of the Father's love for you.
Absolutely. For us, it's been a journey, and there was a lot of years or a lot of times I had to question my faith and question my relationship with God, something that I really had to dive into as I awaited the longing to be a mother. I became wrapped up in a little bit of guilt, a little bit of countless failed attempts at becoming a mother, and that's where that resentment for God started. But thankfully, I dug deep and I held on to my faith, and we worked together to strengthen our marriage in a way to wait for that longing of a child. I felt a lot of times, why did God give me these crosses? I didn't feel I deserved them. I didn't know how to handle them at the time. But over time, it became clear to me. I was going to come out stronger one way or the other, child or not, mother or not. And so that's kind of in this season of waiting, what does that look like? That everyone else is waiting for the coming of Christ. And unfortunately, we've had a long wait. We've had a 5-year journey of just waiting to become those parents that, we thought God would bless us with the title of. And so over time, digging deep into the whys has led me back to the Father and has strengthened my faith again, and something that I'm proud to say, I conquered. I didn't defeat. I grew in faith, and I feel like I'm a great mother because of that. I did find a phrase along the way that's really resonated with me, and that is, we must walk through God's processes to see his fulfilled promises. I didn't know it would be so hard, but there was a lot of days that it was. But in the end, I knew God's promise wouldn't fail me, and I would see the other side of things. Now, the birth of our beautiful, precious son, that's never been more true. I know God's never stopped loving me, even in my doubting times. But he had a greater plan, and I just had to succumb to that and surrender to his will.
It's so beautiful how you shared that. Maybe when Huxton was born, as you shared, waiting patiently, and that was hard at times. Maybe just share the joy and the overwhelming love you experienced, just holding Huxton and seeing him for the first time when he was born.
Absolutely. It's, parenthood, like I say, we always knew or we felt it was something that would just be part of our journey, and we dated for a while before we got married, and you just do the processes. You date, you go to college, you get your degree, you get engaged, you get married, right. Boom, you're parents. It didn't happen that way, but that's okay. Like I say, we worked together. We didn't waver in our marriage, and I know sometimes that can be an issue. And so for us, thankfully, it made us stronger, and we kept holding on to God's will. But it goes back. I know you gave a sermon one time, and I had heard it even before that. Sometimes God says yes, sometimes God says no, sometimes God says wait. And so we did just that. We waited and we waited, and thankfully the wait paid off, in our case. But the moment that doctor handed him to us, handed him to me, put him on my chest, as any new parent knows, it's an unexplainable feeling. And just the amount of love I had for someone so instant is amazing. The years of waiting, all the agony just seemed to disappear, and it just felt like this is how it was meant to be. and it just made us cherish every single moment that much more.
Thank you so much for sharing that and what you just shared. Like, unexplainable how much love that you had for Huxton at that moment, and still, and that's how much love God has for
Absolutely.
us always. And so, thank you for taking the time and sharing your story
Yes,
with us.
absolutely. And I just want to express, prayers and love to anyone that's still waiting on their miracle, waiting for God's will, waiting for the yes or the no, or just give it more time.
Right. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
And happy Advent.